I always have difficulty coming up with what to talk about in these intro bits before I start talking about the episodes themselves. I've tried saying how we've watched over half a new episode this season already, but each time I try and say it, I kind of mix up my words a bit and stutter. A bit of a difficulty, because I can't really think about what to say, other than talking about how I'm having difficulties talking about stuff. To save me from this, please let me know in the comments what you think about the episodes as well, what episodes I should watch, which episodes I shouldn't watch, and why my opinions are all stupid and wrong. They're not, but tell me about it anyway. And join me because it's the 2022 Spring Anime Preview from a different perspective. First up today we have Heroines Run the Show, otherwise known as To Become a Real Heroine, the Unpopular Girl and the Secret Task. An anime about a girl who moves to a city from countryside, a character called Hiyori, in order to become a student on a school with a track team, because the school where she came from herself has no real track team. Doesn't have many students from the sounds of it. And so she moves to a city, gets herself a place in the school, and just wants to try and live a normal life on the track team there. Although she finds herself in the centre of a storm in a school when seats are assigned, and she ends up sitting in front of and behind two highly attractive young men in her class, Yujiro and Aizo. During class introductions, one of them introduce themselves and all the girls in class just scream. She introduces herself, may have saying, nah. We want to introduce themselves and says, and they all will scream again. Unbeknownst to Hiyori, she's literally sitting herself in between two idols. They are famous celebrities who form the idol group Lip Lip. Not that she's ever really paid attention to that, since she's a country girl. She has no interest in idols whatsoever. She wants to become a normal girl doing track. But of course, because she has expenses living in the city, coming from countryside, she needs to get herself a job. Being on a track team, and also in school, she can't do any job, and her time is limited. And so any time job she goes for, she gets turned down because she's not very adaptive. Except for one job which she goes to, it pays very well, loads of people want the job. When the interviewers speak to her, see what she's like, and also find out she's a student at the school she goes to, she's basically given the job pretty much on the spot. A job which she doesn't know what's going on is to be the temporary manager for Lip Lip, and chaos is going to ensue. Now, this was very much a shoujo reverse harem type of show, but it's not quite that. It's more a traditional shoujo anime than a reverse harem. It's going to be about her learning to be herself, getting friends with these guys who at the moment hate her, slowly but surely becoming more respecting of her, and I don't think they're going to end up falling in love with her, but you never know. I could probably break up with a group if they both fall in love with her, because then again, I don't seem to be liking each other anyway, even though we're part of an idol group, but it's generally at each other's throats. But it's going to take Hiyori to step in between them, bash their heads together and get them to work. Because Hiyori is the type of character you just can't help but like. She's friendly, she's energetic, but she's also a country girl, set in her ways. You also meet another couple of characters, Chizuru and Yuri, who are going to be Hiyori's friends in school. One's a relatively studious looking girl with glasses, the other one's a gal. And the three of them don't really work well together if you look at them as a group, but they're the type of anime friendship you get. If you like shoujo anime, this one's probably going to be worth watching. I'm going to give it a few more episodes. I'd recommend it, just about, I'd say. It's worth watching. Give it a try on Crunchyroll. Next up is an anime which I probably won't be recommending. An anime which proves that if you're going to have a content warning, make sure you put it up before the content you're warning about starts. As we enter the world of Skeleton Knight and Another World, an anime about a guy resurrected into a video game as his character Ark was a Skeleton Knight. A super powerful Skeleton Knight with loads and loads of strong abilities, but is a skeleton. And this anime is just about him discovering he's in a game world, trying to find himself something to eat because apparently you need to eat as a skeleton. And he does end up eating and drinking, and how that does end up on the floor I have no idea. And saving some damsels in distress from some bandits who are trying to have their way in a bit more details than you would hope so. You see, having watched Skeleton Knight, it feels to me like they're trying to be edgy and trying to have the same kind of tropes of a couple of animes, but without the class and the storytelling acumen of those shows. It has the impetus of wanting to be as edgy as Goblin Slayer, even down to a point of having a couple of female characters pretty much raped on camera. Not quite, thankfully. Although, I really did not like the yellow patch on the young girl's underwear as it's ripped off. Yeah, they give you graphic shots of that. All in all, this one is not great. Super powerful character, no weaknesses, saving damsels from being raped, but not before you've seen enough content to get some of the more iffy people interested, whilst having no real downside. There's no real characterization of the main character. In fact, is a normal guy in a skeleton character. You can kill bandits in one shot, and he does so kind of graphically, literally cutting him in half. This one is not a pleasant anime. It's trying to be Goblin Slayer crossed with Overlord, but is coming across just like a power fantasy fanfic of some Chunibyo fanboy of Overlord who just wants to be a huge character saving damsels from being raped. Leave it to your imagination why. If you want to watch this one, you can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. And now we have another sequel anime. We have The Demon Girl Next Door second season. The sequel to The Demon Girl Next Door. The Demon Girl Next Door is an anime about Yuko, a poor girl who wakes up one morning and finds herself having horns in the tail. What she doesn't realise, and she finds out throughout the first series, is that her family is actually a family of demons. And she's got particularly strong blood in that she's now got her demon traits coming to the fore. Not that she's really doing anything about it, anything bad. I mean, she's trying to restore her family to riches, but her family's been cursed with bad luck, which is why her father is a box, her mother and her sister and herself live in a completely run down apartment complex and have no money. And of course there's a super strong magical girl in school in town as well, Momo Chiyoda, who is quiet, she's very stoic, but she's clearly got more feelings than otherwise for Yuko. Not that Yuko really realises that, because Yuko is as oblivious as she's cute, and by God she's cute. We've also got her ancestor, Yuko's ancestor, Lilith, who is represented in the anime by a little wooden statue. And of course the other magical girl, Mikan, who has another curse on her as well, but it's just a nice friendly girl. See, season 2 starts off pretty much where season 1 ended, and doesn't really give us any kind of storyline. It's just more fun with Yuko and Momo. Yuko desperately wants to vassalize Momo, get Momo to swear fealty to her, and take her as her subordinate. Whereas Momo just wants to have a good time and be very good friends, potentially more, with Yuko. It's those misunderstandings, the obliviousness of Yuko, and the stoicness and the strength of Momo which really brings this comedy to the fore. It's cute girls doing comedy demon things. And even though it's quite light-hearted, there's definitely heart here. I really loved the first season of this one, and when I saw the second season I was overjoyed. But it's finally back and I just want to watch more of it. If you want to watch more of A Demon Girl Next Door, you can find it airing over at High Dive. And finally today we have The Dawn of a Witch, an anime about a guy who can't really use magic that well, but it's a magic academy for magic people. You see, they explain the whole scenario where there's a magic academy now because witches have become more well known, rather than being persecuted, now being trained, but still witches are still not seen very well about. To be honest, the story didn't really make too much sense to me, other than the fact that you've got a random lolly girl who's trying to act as superior to him and trying to take him on to a village where they're going to train as witches, and witch hunters trying to kill him. You got a smartest girl in class who's clearly interested in him. You got the lolly character who is just there, I suppose. She's got a scythe which can kill all mages but upon touch, but she's immune because she's entered into a contract. You got a very adorable lizard guy who blushes a lot. He acts all tough, but he's actually quite a nice guy. and some of the generic nobodies. Now clearly our main character is going to be super powerful. He'll moment is down as the weakest character in the school, but I'm sure that's because he can't control his magic. When he tries to control it, it's very weak. When he doesn't control it, it explodes. That's probably because it's too powerful. And by being with this lolly witch, who is all powerful, clearly he's going to be able to train his magic, learn to control it, just in the nick of time to save a heroine. There's not really much more about this I can really say, really. Our main character, Sable, is boring. He doesn't really show any emotion at all during the anime. I wouldn't really say stoic, I'd just call him absent. He doesn't have a personality. Holt, our other main female lead, is just there to be eye candy and as a heroine to be saved. Rue, the lolly, she's probably the most fun character of the anime, but given the fact she's a character which actually shows more personality than anyone else, that's not too surprising. If you are interested in watching The Dawn of a Witch, you can find this one airing over at Crunchyroll, but maybe give some other shows a chance as well, because this one is not as great. And so that's been Heroines Run the Show, Skeleton Knight in Another World, with Demon Girl Next Door, Season 2, and The Dawn of a Witch. 4 very different shows with 4 very different opinions about them. What did you think of them? Let me know in the comments, and join me next time when I look at 4 more new shows. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.